Hello, everybody, and welcome to a chat with Andy the Gabby Cabby, live on a Sunday, 9 o'clock, as per usual. I hope everyone is all right. See, we've got a nice number of people in the house already. Good to see you all. Did you have a good weekend? I hope everything is all right in your worlds. Let's have a quick hello to a few people. My guy that usually sits in the background trying to sift through and point out comments that people make are actually absent tonight. So I am flying solo. So forgive me if I'm not as efficient at getting to the comments as I normally would be, but let's have a look. Play apps. I saw a sign at Luton Airport says passengers are late here. Yes, you're not wrong. They're very lucky, actually, but we'll cover that in a minute. Gareth Price, hello to you. Cosmic Wartoad, Anthony P, Gary Thornbury, Fiona Gregory. Lots of conversations going on. Anna Perkins, good to see you in the house. Hope you're well. Those of you that have just joined, we jumped to over 100 already. Please make sure you hit the like button on the way in because it helps YouTube spread this live stream around and get the algorithm cooking. So that's brilliant. Richard Riley, good to see you. Lucy Wallace, Sylvia Spackman, all of our regulars. Good to see everybody. Michael Hancock, Blue Angel 10. Michael Hancock, what a mad country we live in. Indeed, it's getting madder by the day, isn't it? Madder by the second, and you have to wonder. Chunky Buster, good to see you. Harry Reynolds, my uncle, who pays for the cars? Their insurance. The guy whose car started it, definitely not the car park, as you leave your car at your own risk. Absolutely. Did you see any of this cooking off from where you are? Because you're only about 10 or 15 minutes down the road, aren't you, Uncle? Did you see anything? Because when I drive in and out of that place, I see signs. Ryan, good to see you. Richard Riley, Tony, you're watching near Gatwick Airport. I'm heading to Heathrow first thing in the morning. I think about 4 a.m. I've got to leave home, so be a bit of a early start for me. Lindsay Stafford, yes, Jody. Who else have we got? Alan Reeder, good to see you. Russ, good to see you as well. Glad you're in. Spoke to you earlier. You were giving me a bit of a helping hand, a bit of advice in the background. Hi, Mum. See you're in the chat. Jean Whitehead, Avon representative. That's my mother, for those of you that don't know. And yes, that's everybody here. But yeah, Blood isn't in the background tonight, Russ. He messaged me earlier today saying that he's got something he's got to take care of, which he has to do every so often and can't make it tonight. So I'm actually flying solo. Theo Bovril, good to see you. Jim Winter, Bobcat M, good evening to you. Mark and Janice, hello, good to see you. Okay, you didn't see a thing. Now, I suppose you'd have to be a little bit more closer to it, wouldn't you? Because it was quite lively. Ryan saying hello. Johnny, good to see you in the chat. And everybody here, that's brilliant. I'll stop the hellos now. I think I've got to everybody. If I haven't, I do apologise, and we'll come back to the comments a little while later. Now, one of the main things I want to discuss this evening is what happened at Luton Airport and some of the things that have come out because of it, and some of the things that we've learned since. Certain assumptions were made at the time, which turn out may or may not be true. There's one thing I want to cover first of all. I saw a random comment in the chat before I actually came live. Someone was discussing the fuel prices, as in petrol and diesel. And along the lines of, it's going to go up again, isn't it? Well, I have a fuel card from Shell where I'm supposed to get a few pence a litre off at the pump. That's, no two ways about it. And I received this. Dear customer, we have some good news. We're expecting a big drop this week for our fixed price card holders. So hold off filling up until you get your new price if you can. Oil saw a big drop last week as traders react to the general health of the global economy. The drop could be short-lived due to the conflict in Israel/Palestine. Read more on our fuel blog. Thanks to the Right Fuel Card Company. I got that, and then I got my price for the week after that, and lo and behold, it wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. So I think you're probably right, whoever said that. We're going to have a little bit of a problem. Now, when this thing happened in Luton Airport, very, very serious fire, which obviously destroyed the car park. You can see some of the damage from this picture here, particularly in the top left corner. It all completely collapsed, and there's a big pile of cars and molten metal and everything else sat at the bottom of it. Now, in my view, I know that area, I know that car park very well because I've been there many times. And in the bottom of that car park, you actually have a dedicated pickup drop-off area where all of the passengers get left and then collected again when they're coming back and forward from the airport. Now, the sheer fact that not many more people were hurt than, what was it, 3 or 4? Very, very lucky indeed. Just to give you some idea of the layout of the land, this I pulled off of, Google before I came on air, come live. And you actually have 2 car parks, Terminal Car Park 1, Terminal Car Park 2. That's where all the, short stay kind of thing happens. And then from Terminal Car Park 2, it's then a short walk to the terminal. You can cover that ground in literally 4 or 5 minutes, if that, depending on your walking speed. Now, this area here at Terminal Car Park 2 is exactly where the fire was, and it all collapsed in on itself. Now, one thing that begs a question here, I'm going to put this on. Did an EV cause this? So give me a 1 in the chat if you think it was an EV, or give me a 2 in the chat if you think it was something else. 1 in the chat for EV, 2 for something else. And you can see the mess there. Let's give a minute and see these votes coming in. Yeah, a lot of you thinking EV caused it, hybrid, EV. Yeah, Andrew Pierce said it was a diesel. There's another 2, 1.5. Okay, so you're all of similar outlook and similar view. Okay, right. Let's get rid of this picture, and then we'll move on. Okay, you can see me again. Haha. Right. The thing that disturbed me, which led to my initial assumption, was how quickly the vehicle took hold, the actual fire took hold, and how difficult it was to put out. I mean, that evening, it started at 9 o'clock in the evening, and it was put out 12 hours later. And I was actually made aware of it about 4 o'clock that morning because I had to go to Stansted, and I knew all about it, and I was worried about flight delays and everything else. But, 12 hours to put it out, and it was ferocious. Now, I want to play you a video. That Paz released, I think the following day or the day after. And I have his permission to play this. I left him a message and I asked him, and he said, yeah, sure. Let me find it. Here we go. Now, Paz's reaction, very similar to mine. Have a listen.
Luton Airport car park the other day, and for some reason, the usual lot who are trying to get us all to buy electric cars to save the weather or something, they're trying to blame a diesel car for the whole carnage. Even the mainstream media are reporting this as being started by a diesel car. Now, I'm not a mechanic, but even I know diesel is not flammable. I've even asked the other half's dad, who had his own business for decades as a mechanic, and even he said diesel cars just don't spontaneously combust like that. And so the photo you see in front of you now is the actual source of the fire. It's a Discovery Range Rover Sport diesel hybrid, which means it has a battery in it. And the type of batteries in these is a lithium battery component, which wasn't mentioned by the mainstream media at all, and the electric car climate alarmist enthusiasts. And this is why you can't trust the media. And this is what they do. This is merely damage control to try and make sure that nobody finds out that an electric vehicle could have possibly caused this. Now, you can't take batteries on a plane. Ferries won't transport electric vehicles, and for good reason, because they do this. And it's yet just another reason why I won't touch an electric car. And there we go. That's my video. Please let
So that was Paz's initial reaction, the same as mine. I took one look and I thought, yeah, an electric car's cause this, or a hybrid's cause this. You know, a lot of people thought that as well. Now, Chunky Buster, why are its brake lights on? Well, looking at the position of the car and knowing the layout of the car park, I do believe that that car was abandoned. I don't know for sure, but looking at it, it says to me that car was abandoned because of the place it was. It wasn't parked. And I'll show you a little piece of footage a little bit later, and you can see that. That's what I do believe. Yes, Logical Action, Jeff Buys Cars, does a good video on the Luton fire. He's done a couple of good videos, and I'm led to believe that he's going to be doing another one very shortly as well. Now, Paz said something very clear there. Diesel does not ignite because you need compression to ignite diesel. That's why there's no spark plugs in a diesel engine. I think there's glow or heat plugs instead. Hello, Richie. Good to see you. Just seen you popped in the chat. Hope you're well. Yeah. Yorkshire Pud, I prefer diesel cars because they don't go kaboom as easily. I prefer them because you get more to the mile. So I want to show you a piece of video here, which I pulled out. And it's simply entitled, "Could you light gasoline with a match?" Or can you light diesel with a match, rather? And have a look at this. In the left-hand plate or left-hand bowl, there's a little drop of gasoline or petrol. And in the right-hand bowl, there's diesel. And see what happens here. See, there's the gas. And this is the diesel. Yeah, 112 Boatman, exactly. Diesel can ignite, but it has to be very, very hot. Very, very hot. And you'll see from this video here, the match has just been left. And the video has been increased to 4 times. 4 times its speed. And it's all to do with the flash point where it will go off. Diesel fire produces thick black smoke, not white. Simple fact. That's Dino Essex. You watch what happens. The gas has blown itself out. And eventually, the diesel, after a long time, has now ignited. How long did that take? And how long, did that take to go off? A hell of a lot longer. So you cannot light diesel very easily. Now, of course, this isn't the first time we've had problems with Range Rovers. There's been lots of problems with Range Rovers. Now, I want to show you a couple of pictures here that we dug out. Now, there's a burnt out shell of a vehicle, and you can tell quite a nasty, destructive fire there. Now, a lot of people are blaming hybrid batteries and all of that sort of thing, but there has actually been a series of recalls, and this is another one. This one was in Nottingham. I think it was August, something like that, so not too long ago, actually. And, you know, that's another one that's burnt up. I mean, I feel sorry for anybody that's driving one of these things or is invested in one of these things. And, you know, all of a sudden it cooks off. It really is nasty. Now, let's have a look at this. Okay, Land Rover is recalling several model years of the Range Rover and Range Rover Sport, along with the 2023 Range Rover V8, to address two issues that may lead to under-hood fires. The first and larger of the two recalls covers plug-in hybrid variants of 2018 through 2022. Range Rover and Range Rover Sport, the second recall, covers just a single car, a lone Range Rover that apparently left the factory without a critical turbo oil drain gasket. The 2018-2022 PHEV issue is by far the more urgent of the two. Land Rover says 2,300 examples may have shipped with water pumps whose belts can become damaged, leading to the potential failure of the pump pulley. Whether this results in an immediate catastrophic failure of the pump or merely a loss of coolant circulation, the resulting overheating condition can lead to additional problems, up to and including a full-fledged conflagration. So serious issues in these vehicles when they're released to the general public and recalled. So, you know, known problems. Now, there's a little bit of video I want to show you about the particular vehicle and a very good analysis of it. But before I do, I just want to go and acknowledge some of the comments, see what you're saying. Mark and Janice, Charlie put a great video today covering a big Manchester protest. He's a brave man, absolutely. Another one I want to shout out to is Maya Tusi. He's trying to cover everything going on in London, and he released a video today, and he's under threat. I think he's completely mad mixing up in all that, but best wishes to Maya and hope he's okay. Fly by Stew, now like being cremated alive. I hear they can lock you in when things go tits. Oh my God, that's horrific, isn't it? Julie Keys, when someone dies, it's too late. Seems like a cover up yet again. There's certain things that stink about this, to be honest with you, but I'll tell you. Incognito. Andy Loud Cabby, unfortunately, due to a community strike which I've had, I respect you afford me the same courtesy that you in advance. What, you've had a community strike? Well, what happened? I hope you get it sorted. Wiley Hutch, black smoke would have come from the plastic fittings, bumpers, etc., not the diesel. Also, the oil in the engines would ignite when hot enough. I suppose when they get to a temperature, they will, won't they? Roughly 500 watching and less than 100 likes. Don't forget to like. Yes, everybody, please, if you are in here, hit the like button. We need to get to 100 at a minimum. Obviously, with this level of people watching, I do want a fair bit more. Julie, my Tusi has said tonight he's in lockdown now because of the threats he got yesterday. Yeah, he said self-imposed, didn't he? Anna, for goodness sake, make sure if you must have an EV, get one of those special hammers and seatbelt rippers. You'll need to get out fast. In fact, have one in any car in your home. Yeah, I've seen them. Police off the cuff covered a case of a young lady who tragically got stuck in her car when it went into a river, like a reservoir. And they were talking about these things. You literally put them at a weak point of your window, activate them, and off they go. Now that's Richie, 188 likes. Excellent. Thank you very much indeed, everybody. That's great stuff. And the views are certainly creeping up. Vibrations are healing up. Andy, the Matt Master Lee, had his EV Porsche taken, recalled. There was a thing on Jeff Buys Cars thing as well, that something about a high performance car. It looked like that went off. Bobby Crush, do you have anything to substantiate that? Is this true? Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I do see where you're coming from. What's this? Get an automatic center punch. It will pull a side window out straight away. Okay. Lee Saint, hello to you. Good to see you. Thank you very much for joining the live stream tonight. Matt Master got locked in his Porsche, David says. Oh, wow. Simon, I choked on tire smoke as a kid. Okay, it was probably, oh God, here we go. Hitch up and now. Why is it that you can't put batteries in your bin? Because it's environmentally unfriendly. But they want you to buy electric cars because they are environmentally friendly. Confused. Absolutely. None of it makes any sense, does it? It doesn't at all. I mean, they call them environmentally friendly, but there's so many issues, isn't there? The manufacture, the supply, the disposal, the charging. It's not something that I would entertain right now. This is the chat with Andy the Gabby Cabby live on a Sunday. Welcome, everybody that's joined us this evening. Massive number in, 570, and we've got some on Facebook as well. Also broadcasting across on Twitter. If you haven't done so already, please hit the like button, the old thumbs up, wherever that happens to be. And, that helps the algorithm push this chat around everywhere, and in turn really helps the channel. I very much appreciate it. If you are new here today, please consider subscribing to the channel. Again, it's free to do, really helps, and share the content and leave comments as well. Mum's put, Helen Gregg, hi Andy, first time on your live program. Do you have an email address? I can send you something. I'm in serious need of advice. Thanks and much love. Yes, I will put my email address in the comments for you right this very second, and hopefully you will see it. I check my emails usually once a day on this because it's on my laptop, which is separate from my phone. But if you send me something to that, I will pick it up. Now, let's go back to the thing, shall we? I want to show you a little piece of video just from the night. If we go Luton Airport. Pardon the swear word in the top left-hand corner, but it's the first thing I could get hold of. Ooh. Now, you can see from that video there on the night, explosions, bangs, car alarms going off, and all sorts of things. A right mess. Now, let's just say I've been going to the airports consistently once to twice a day, 6 to 7 days a week for the last 6 years. If I had £1 for every time I went inside one of these car parks, I could retire. It's really that very simple, folks. And one thing I've never seen is any proper segregation between different types of cars. I've seen diesel cars parked next to electric cars. I've seen hybrid cars parked next to petrol cars, and they're all crammed into a very small space. So I can imagine if one cooks off or catches light as this one did, then it's going to quickly spread from one to the other, to the other, to the other, and you get a cascade effect which blows the whole works. And that is exactly what that looked like. Now, I can guarantee you, whether it was an electric car that started this or not, there were electric cars in that car park which contributed to this situation and destroyed the whole thing. I think there was something like 1,900 cars. And the last count, I think they've accounted for pretty much all of the registered keepers. And it looks like nothing's going to be able to be salvaged out of that car park whatsoever. It's not great at all. I want to show you a piece of video now, or a couple of pieces of video, where somebody has done a very deep analysis of this, including identifying the registration number of the car. I actually got a piece of footage from the front. Identifying the source of the fire and some very good technical facts about it. And again, make your own mind up. Now, let's bring the first one up. Okay, now before I play this video, and I'm going to make this full screen so you can see it, and this refers to a comment I made earlier. Hi, Rose Angel. Good to see you in the chat. I don't know if you can see the position of the car, the Range Rover, but it's actually in the middle there. It's not parked in a space. It's in the middle. And it looks like it's either been abandoned or someone was driving out of there and it spontaneously went up and they had to get out in a hurry. That's what that appears to be to me. And who was there to take the damn photograph? The other thing to consider as well in this car park, from what I read and what I'm led to believe, there were no sprinklers. No sprinklers anywhere. Probably wouldn't have helped in the long run, might have bought a bit of time, but there we go. Anyway, again, I have permission from this guy to use his footage. He actually emailed me, and his name is North Wales SXS on YouTube. And have a listen.
Range Rover. There's set fire in Luton Airport. Here's a picture of the front. In this next sequence of pictures, if you stop the video in this sort of area, you can read that number plate, E10 EFL. It's perfectly legible when you read it. There it is, perfect. Range Rover Sport. It's a 3-litre 2993cc, and it's a diesel, as you can read there. Date of registration, May 2014. Manufactured 2014. It's definitely a diesel. It's not a hybrid, and it's not an EV. I'll show you a picture next of a Range Rover. And take note of the rear lights. The rear lights are important in this. See how they come down, all the way down to the bumper. Next picture, just have a look at the rear lights in the one that's on fire. They don't come down to the bumper. You can see them lit up very, very well on the driver's side. Here's a picture of a Range Rover Sport. You can see where the lights are. Another picture of the back of it on fire. That's the comparison back to Range Rover Sport that isn't on fire. Just happens to be the same colour. Here's another screenshot of all the information on the vehicle. And there's the Range Rover again, just to give you an idea. I want you to look at the MOT. The last MOT this vehicle passed. There's some information there that's going to come into play when I tell you why I...
Okay, that's the first bit. He's clearly got in and seen the number plate of the vehicle, and you know, analyze the MOT history and everything else. Now, I'm completely open-minded, because when I looked at that number plate, I can see what he's seeing, and then if you look again, but it seems very, you know, very, very convincing. Now, there was a problem in my mind with the pattern of the fire, the direction it was coming from as well. Something smelt a bit looking at the pictures, and you know, have a look. Now, what he goes on to say is there was a load of safety recall issues to do with these vehicles, all of which, if left unchecked, could cause a very serious fire. Very serious, which is, of course, what happened in this case, and we know where it led. And I want to play this bit.
Oh, what I'm running through in this part of the video is I went through all the recalls on the year range of this particular Range Rover Sport, and I went 1 year either side, so I went 2013 to 2015, because this is a 2014 vehicle that's gone on fire. As you can see, fire may occur. And if you read the bottom line, significant damage, there is a possibility of fire. And then the vehicle we're looking at, Range Rover Sport, falls into the VIN numbers that were shown in that last screen. I'm going to go for another one of the recalls now. Up it pops. 2015 038. Recall type. Oh, reason for concern, fire may occur. Again, we're in the same year range. Same chassis numbers in the build date of this vehicle that's gone on fire. Let's see what the next one pops up as. Another recall. Risk of fire. An internal fault can create a short circuit within the fan control module. Once again, we're a little bit outside the VIN numbers on this one, but it just shows you Land Rover have had a problem with electronics and electrical components for a long time. And there's lots of recalls there that say risk of fire. Here's a good one. Recall date, 11th of the 10th, 2014. Reason for recall, internal fault could create a short circuit within the fan control module. The important bit is this may happen with the engine switched off and possibly when the vehicle is unattended. That's another risk of fire. These are all faults that could possibly have affected this particular Range Rover Sport. I've got no access to the Land Rover and the Jaguar system. So what I can't do is check the actual data of Land Rover and Jaguar to see if these recalls have ever been performed. But even if they have, they could still be a reoccurring problem in the future. But as you can see from the recalls, how many of them were risk of fire, risk of fire, risk of fire? And they're all individual recalls on this particular range of Range Rover Sports with the 3-litre TDI V6 diesel engine in. Well, if
there you go. Lots and lots of recall issues involving electrical issues, fan control modules, and all that sort of thing. Now, there's a part of the video I didn't play you. Hello, Bridget. Good to see you. Hope you're well. As part of the video I didn't play you, and that's where he gave a layout of the actual engine bay, and it is really, really crammed. It is really, really tight, and there's not a lot of space to breathe. There's not a lot of space for any components. And, you know, if there's a short or a problem with any high temperature or anything like that, it could be a recipe for disaster. And I personally think that's what's happened. Now, people believe that it was an electric vehicle that caused all this. I certainly think and do believe that electrical vehicles contributed to it, because they were in that car park. And if any of them caught a light as a result of the initial ignition of this vehicle, you're asking for trouble. And all of a sudden, pop, 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 all the way down the line. And as somebody quite rightly pointed out, a lithium battery can burn at something like 2,000 degrees, where it's a lot higher than the melting point needed to take out some of the superstructure of this car park. It's very, very bad. And as I said earlier on in the live stream, it's just a wonder that no one else was more seriously hurt. No one else was more seriously hurt. I want to run through some of your comments on this. Just before I do, I just want to welcome any newcomers, 675 watching. We're broadcasting tonight to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Good to see everybody. If you haven't done so already, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Cover videos every single day, Monday to Friday, and live on Sunday. And please chime in, comment, say what you think. And we come out with that kind of stuff as well, and have a discussion about your comments also during the week. Right. Let's have a look at some of these comments I picked up. I haven't got anybody looking at the comments for me this evening, so I'm having to fly solo, so to speak. Kiwi wife, diesels are less likely to catch fire than even petrol. Has to be an electrical fault, but odd if it's parked. How long was it parked? Well, I don't believe it was parked, because the position of it in the car park, and you can see any of the pictures, it looks like it's in the middle, in between the parking bays. I don't believe it was parked. The lights were on, so somebody at some stage has either unlocked that car, or they've gone in that car and gone to drive off, and it's gone poof, kaboom. So I believe there was some kind of ignition turn or something like that. Most definitely. Thank you for your comment. Tony, EV, trillion-pound industry, it will be covered up. I think that, you know, with the initial furore about all this, people are going to say, did electrical vehicles cause this? I don't think they helped. But, you know, judging by the evidence I put through to you this evening, I don't think it was an electric vehicle that started the initial fire. By all accounts, it looks like it was a diesel as a result of some kind of electrical issue. But I'm telling you now, there was electric vehicles in that car park. There's no two ways about it. I see so many of them, so many of them. Bobcat 1967, electrical malfunction or arson, possibly. Yeah, I mean, could there be an accelerant that was introduced? Maybe. I don't know. Again, it's just conjecture. And you'd need the fire investigators to have a look at that and tell us what's going on. But it's a very valid point. Hit stirrer. Why are people so desperate to blame an EV? They now admit it was a diesel, but can't help claiming there might have been EVs parked in there, and they were then to blame for the entire fire. They weren't to blame for the entire fire, hit stirrer. I think people blame EVs because of the amount of, well, bad press that's stirring around. And by God, I'll admit I'm probably responsible for some of it because I don't like them. and I'm not the only one, but I can see that it wasn't an EV that started it, but purely through experience and what I've seen through my own eyes, there was EVs in that car park. No two ways about it. I'll bet my next paycheck on it. Thank you for your comment. Peter? So where did he get the video from, as he seems to be the only one with it? That video with the front view, I've seen that on Twitter. I've seen another video of the rear view, rear facing the vehicle as well. I've seen it both on there. So I think that's where he's got it from, and obviously able to zoom in and have a look. Just running through some of these. Fiona, I think it was stolen. Possible. Somebody might have tried to nick it or drive it in there and do something. You never know. And that ties in with a very important comment Dino's come out with. Where's the owner? Who is the owner? Where are they? And I'd hate to think what's going to happen to their insurance. I really do. Matt, our bars and concrete melt at 1500 degrees. EV batteries burn at 2000. There was EVs in that car park. I'm not saying it started it, but by God, I think it contributed to it. Most definitely. Mick, hi Andy. Hello, Mick. Did you see the McLaren Artura supercar EV burst into flames in Leeds yesterday? Just came out of the dealership. I think that was the one that Jeff Buys Cars actually put on his that I covered. And yeah, I did see it. It was a bit of a mess. Let me see if I can find a picture of it very, very quickly while we're in the live, just so people can see it. Artura supercar EV. Yep, I think I might have found it. Just let this advert run. This is actually Jeff Buys Cars. Just get a still of this so I can show you. There you go. Complete and utter burnout. Nasty, huh? Very, very nasty. Okay, thanks for that, Mick. Next one. Fred Scratchy, usual crusty Rover electronics. Apparently there's problems. And a lot of recalls. And now that's Richie. Salvage Rebuilds channel recently had a Range Rover catch fire while they had the engine running. That's not a good thing to know, is it? I think there's a lot of questions to be answered there, that's for sure. Julie Baldwin, 14 more likes needed to reach 400, please, guys. We can do this. Thank you very much for your support and your thumbs up, everybody. Very much appreciated. Oh my God, that's close on. 190,000 quid gone up in smoke. Yeah, big old sports car, that is. Nick B, all 9 of my cars run on batteries, not a single fire in 10 years of running them. They are radio-controlled cars. Lovely. Love it. Beastie Boy, great vid, posted by Uncle Tony's Garage, explains about Luton. No way was that a diesel fire. We are being lied to about EVs and safety. There's one thing, Beastie Boy, which I can't get my head around. You've got the car right there, and then you've got the fire, and we're assuming the fire is coming from that car. But there's the front of another car really, really, really close to it. If you have a look at, replay this live and have a look at the video, really, really close to it. Now, is the fire coming from the Range Rover and looking up under that car, or is it going the other way around? That Range Rover was abandoned. I'm telling you now, it was either abandoned or, you know, it was just left there somehow. But that Range Rover was started and it was put in that position. It was not in a parking space. No way. Russ, EVs weigh more than regular cars. Multi-story car parks full of EVs could be more weight than the thing could safely handle. I mean, there was 1,900 cars in there. I think that's the figure they were quoting, a proportion of which would have been, EVs. And if there was any weakening to the structure because of the fire, then it wouldn't have helped. It wouldn't have helped. April, yes, and some people believe everything they see on the telebox and read in the papers. Bless them. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I mean, I've played that thing back a few times, and I'm not entirely convinced. I might be wrong, but you know, that was the analysis based on that Range Rover, and a very good one too. Aaron Bacon, there's an Aussie auto expert, John Cadogan, who has been very detailed in his coverage of the hybrid and EV problems worldwide. His video 2 days ago covers this in more detail. Thanks, Aaron. I will go and check that out, most definitely, because I can get the comment feedback and all the links and everything from here. Karen just said, didn't they have CCTV? Now, I have seen cameras in that car park. Particularly on the bottom levels. Now, what got me about the pictures that were taken was the angle at which the pictures were taken. They were quite ground level, and the CCTV cameras are usually up here somewhere. So who took the pictures and what was the situation? How did they take the pictures? Sail away, airport car fires. Possibly. 2K's one. I drove diesels all my life, done millions of miles, never had a fire. I don't think I'm lucky. I think it's common. I know a place, might have even been Cuba or something like that, where they had nothing but Mercedes, and some of them had 1 million miles on them, diesels, and unbelievable how they just kept going and going. Logical action footage, not CCTV. It could be CCTV, logical action, but it was just the angle. I mean, this is just me and my opinion. It was just the angle of the camera. It seemed quite floor level, or quite level with the area of events and what was going on, and things are usually a bit further up going down. The angle just seemed wrong to me. I might be wrong. I've read that the driver jumped out and smoke appeared and grabbed a fire extinguisher, which either didn't work or one extinguisher wasn't enough, which is why it was seen in the picture. Okay, well, there you go, jumped out. So why did they jump out? Were they going to drive out and it suddenly went, you have to wonder. 2 extinguishers in the picture. Certain fires, if you spray water at them, will aggravate them. That's why you've got different things. So was it an electrical fault after all? I guess we're going to find out. Yeah, possibly a dash cam, possibly, because it was level, or somebody took a picture of it before they got the hell out of there, thinking it wasn't great to hang around. And again, I'm surprised that no one was hurt because of how busy that can be, that place. Where are we? Wiley Watch. What worries me, if you were in a collision with an EV and the battery on that is damaged and set on fire, if you were trapped in your car, instead of being rescued and survive, scary thought, isn't it? I had an accident in 2020, and you imagine my car, another car slammed into the side of me, and I actually went careering round at about 50 miles an hour. I actually got slammed into the side of another vehicle, careered round and come to a stop, and I could get out. I mean, the first thing I did was grab hold of my dash cam and ripped it off the windscreen, and then I just kind of fell out of my car. But it depends on what's on that side, doesn't it? You know, whether you can get out or not. But Stephen, I heard about that. An electric bus caught fire a few days ago somewhere. I did hear about that. I can't remember where, though, but I was sent a message about it. Yorkshire Pud, I'll be the fastest pud around. Absolutely brilliant. Hit stir, if you spot the car on fire, you're going to abandon it and run anyway. Certainly not try and park it nicely. Absolutely. So did they get in it? Did they start the drive off and poof? Who knows? Who knows? Anyway, I want to talk about something completely different just for the last few minutes. Now, at the moment, I'm sat in my garage talking to you fine people, and I've got this thing on the wall keeping me toasty and warm. It's getting colder. I mean, this morning when I actually went out, I was in single figures. It was about 5 degrees outside. And I'll tell you the mad thing. Look at this. I still got my shorts on. I must be mad. Absolutely mad. So I think the jeans will be coming back out the wardrobe anytime soon. But we're getting to the stage where we've got to start thinking about getting the heating back on again and everything else, haven't we? And, you know, where the prices are the way they are, it's been not great. Nick B, been pretty mild here today. Somebody told me it was going to warm up a bit here in the week, but I don't know. Hitch up and tow. It's an infrared heater. It's not actually a normal heat bar kind of thing in the standard sense. So no, that's fine. Dino Essex, oh my God, I was eating. Terribly sorry about my hairy legs there. But anyway, what I wanted to show you was this. An article that I was sent the other day. It's kind of a warning. Gas prices soar after reports leak is not an accident. Now, this was 5 days ago. This came up, but probably still relevant. UK gas prices soared on Tuesday afternoon, so several days ago, after Swedish and Finnish media reported that Finland's government is set to say that damage to an underwater gas pipeline was not accidental. Pipeline, which started to leak over the weekend, runs between Finland and Estonia across the Bay of Finland. Comes into land around 40 to 50 kilometres to the west of the two countries' capitals, Helsinki and Tallinn. On Tuesday, authorities in Finland called the media to a press conference. Swedish radio, Finnish newspaper, and state broadcaster all reported, said at a press conference originally scheduled for 2, and it's been delayed. Following the reports, UK gas prices jumped 12.7% to 123.2p per therm, reaching our highest level for 2 weeks. So something has gone on somewhere, which is going to, looks like, push everything up a little bit more. And obviously we've got the issues going on over where right now as well. So we're going to end up with bigger prices, I wonder. So we'll have to watch out for that, definitely. Let's have another look at a few more of these comments. See what we've got. What's this? This is crazy. New Zealand will be getting a new fart tax to reduce emissions from cows. Farmers will have to pay a tax on methane emissions from livestock. There was an article on that came out here about them implying that sort of thing going on, and it was just a bloody laughing stock, wasn't it? Oh, sorry, that cost me a £5. Jesus. Yorkshire Pud, it's coming cold because ferals have decided that they're indoor cats again. I refuse to light the coal fire yet, though, because I take government advice and use the cat's furry body as hot water bottles. I just jump under the duvet. That works. Steve, there have been reports of an EV being seen in the pipe. Yeah, it blew up. Yeah, I've got it. At least if your electric car blows up, you'll be nice and warm for a few hours. Definitely. Andy, with what's going on in the Middle East, expect the oil crisis of the 70s on steroids. Inflation too. It's just all a little bit of history repeating. Goes round in cycles, doesn't it, history? It's like we never learn from our mistakes. What's gone wrong in the past and what's gone on. Kieran, another possibly similar to Nord Stream 2. You never know. You never know. Will it ever come out? An EV submersible. Anna, I spoke to a friend of mine once who works in breakdown recovery, and he said some of the EV fires that he's come across, what they've had to do is put them in a metal container effectively and dunk them in a load of water and leave them there to fizzle themselves out, sometimes for hours. I'm actually taking this guy to the airport on Tuesday, so I'll see if he has any more to add about what happened there and get his insight. There was another one there with some laugh emojis. Yorkshire Pud, we've been under bed covers since 7 p.m. Lucky you. That's where I'm going straight away when we're finished, because I think I'm going to have to be out of bed again about 3 a.m. I've got to head up to Heathrow and pick up some people that are landing about 6. Logical action. Can you cover challenging love AI councils soon, Andy? Yeah, I'll need to look up about it, but I'll certainly look into it. April. Yeah, I've read that. I have read that. What's this one? Yep, I think Iran's having a bit of a hissy fit over it as well, aren't they? I think there's a potential to get very messy that way. Very messy indeed. John Harris, good night to you. Thank you very much for joining, and appreciate the support as always. Same to Angie Etheridge. Good night to you as well. Who we got here? David, the footage could have been captured by a Tesla. They have all-round cameras at low level. I take it they have the ability to upload that footage to somewhere, do they? They'd have to, because otherwise how would it survive the fire? What else we got? William, gas going up just in time for winter. Well, I never. We knew it was going to happen, didn't we? We knew it was going to happen. There we go. Jerry, my gas prices went down this month. Now 6.6p, 29.9p standing charges. Hope they stayed the same. Fingers crossed. Absolutely fingers crossed. Well, folks, we're coming up to the hour. And boy, has that gone fast. I hope you've enjoyed this evening. I just wanted to do a bit more of a deeper dive into what went on at Luton specifically, and what I've been sent during the week, and all of the information on that car that was present in the location of that fire. and my thoughts on it, the evidence, people's initial reactions, and, you know, a little bit of the aftermath and the consequences. And I'll keep an eye on it. When we get the any kind of fire investigation or anything like that, I'll revisit this story and bring you some more on it. And, you know, we'll see how we go. There's going to be lots more out, I'm sure. Thank you again. Tomorrow from 8 o'clock in the morning, there'll be 4 videos coming out, as there always is. Please check them out on the channel. They'll be out from 8. Same thing every day, Monday to Friday, with the lives on Sunday. If you haven't done so already, give the thumbs up and smack on your way out. I appreciate that very much. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. And, of course, leave comments, contribute, and everything else, because it all helps the channel grow, helps you get to know each other, and helps all the support. I'm going to go because I need to get to sleep, and I've got a very early start, a very early one. So take care, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your evenings, and thank you once again for joining me, Andy the Gabby Cabby. Night-night, or as I usually say, toodaloo.